Hello out there. We're on the air. Why is this microphone so far away from me here? Happy hump day, folks. Happy hump day. Ladies, gentlemen, cats and dogs of all ages. Welcome back to another edition, another day, and another episode. This is number 383. 383 blocks in this chain for the daily Bitcoin journey. It is Wednesday. It is hump day. And we have our guy, Arnie, here finally. He came down from his penthouse and decided to grace us today. So this one's titled A Security Playbook for Bitcoiners. It is a pleasure to be here with you this morning. Thank you for being here. To those who are. Oh, I'm hungry. I just got a really hungry feeling in my belly. So we're going to keep the show short today so I can go eat. We're not going to have another 2.5 hour episode today. I'll tell you that for free. For free. Anyways, people are joining. I see a lot of people over on Rumble today. So welcome, Rumble. We should let Zapstream know that we're live. Probably a good idea, hey? I got runny eyes. Runny eyes, I'm crying here. All right. We are live, Noster. I don't know if I need to do this anymore. We are live on Noster because it shows up. I guess not everybody has Primal. Not everybody has their shit together like we do. But yeah, anyways, it's going to be a good show today. I came across a really interesting post this morning, and so I want to talk about it. And so that's what we're going to do. So let's get to Rumble. Let's check on what's going on over there. Before we do, though, I want to say a couple special shout-outs here. After yesterday's debacle, you might say. Although we went for 2.5, and 2 hours and 15 minutes of it was captured. But thank you, BTC Club. I appreciate that. We got a good group over in Rumble today. I got the hiccups. 24 people, 13 likes, thumbs ups, and appreciate you, everybody over on Rumble. God bless. All right. We get some people over in Noster as well. Scotty Zap 99 sats and said, sounding good. Thank you, Scotty. Thank you, Scotty. All right, Arn, what should we talk about? Where do we begin today? Where should we begin? I want to give a couple more shout outs, actually, because after the show, I missed these zaps that came in. And one of them was from Germany, all the way in Germany. Alexandra sent in a Tesla plus a 3690. That's a nice zap. Thank you, Alexandra. I don't know if that came in after the show yesterday, but no, that's what happened. This phone was dead yesterday. So there's a couple people who sent some sats to Arnie's wallet yesterday, and it was dead, so I couldn't say thank you. So I wanted to do it this morning right off the hop. So thank you, Alexandra. And we had some fatties come in right after that. We had a row of boobs. 333. And the note said, tits are better than boobs. Tits over boobs. And then I think it was the same person. Another Trump zap, 4547. And it said, you are right. She's an inbred, but I love her. Speaking, of course, about Cedar Sat's golden retriever named Bella. So thank you, Alexandra, and thank you, Cedar Sats. You became the unofficial Zap King of yesterday. So we'll get out our notepad. We'll start taking some notes. Big shout out to my buddy in England yesterday that I chatted with. Had a really good conversation. So nice to talk to people. You know, in physical world here, I don't get to talk to a lot of people about Bitcoin, but it is nice when people set up a call from different parts of the world, and you can tell you're on the same frequency, and it's always nice to be able to talk to people like that. So, big shout out to my man in England yesterday. And if you're somebody who wants to set up a chat, You can either do an hourly call with me, or you can actually do a value for value call for 15 minutes, half an hour. If you have any questions about Bitcoin security, anything about UTXOs, private key management, running a node, multi-sig, anything like that. If you just kind of want to level up in Bitcoin and you want somebody to bounce some ideas off of and have a second opinion on things, you can set up a call with me, myself. And people have been taking advantage of that, which is good. Not taking advantage of it and like ripping me off, but like using it. So I'm going to share that here quickly for everybody. And if there's something that I can't do, if there's a skill that I don't have, we also have Bitcoin Citadel. A lot of great people over there who have different skill sets than I do. And so you can go to bitcoincitadel.net. Should I link that for people? Why not? Bitcoin Citadel. Oh, Bitcoin Well popped up too. Maybe we should do some giveaways today. We probably should. Bitcoin Citadel. So that Calendly link is a direct line to me. You don't have to pay anything right off the hop. You can figure out what the call was worth to you. And then you can say, Jor, I want to pay you in Bitcoin. What's your Lightning address? Or I want to pay you on chain. What's your Bitcoin address? Or if you have to, you can pay in fiat too. But the cool thing is you don't have to pay up front. You can see what the call is worth to you, value for value. I believe that is the future of commerce. So who's here? Killer 76. Good morning, visionaries. Good morning, Killer. Samantha's here. Bonjour. Bonjour to you. Is this the right place to say hello? It is, Scotty. Good to see you, man. It's the right place to see some dogs too. I think Lucky might be right outside the window here. Let's check. Let's get a little view on Lucky. I can't really see. Yep. There he is. Sitting in the king's throne right now. Looks like Batman. Watching over Gotham City out here. It is a nice day, though. It is a beautiful day here. I'm going to try to do some golf at some point. Sharon B is here as well. Good morning, Sharon B. Ginger's here. Sharon B says, mic check, testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah. You can poke fun. I'll allow it. You can poke fun. Hey, it probably won't happen again. I'm going to be very conscious of looking down at the audio thing over here now. ISO says, going to be the first to chat on YouTube and say, what's up, Jor? Good morning, ISO. We got Ginger over there as well. Marco. Morning, Jor. Bitcoiners. Good morning, Marco. Lauren's here. Good morning, Lauren. Sir Haxalot. Todd. Morning, fellas. Just took 1 million sats off the exchanges forever. Love that. Love that. Is there anything better than... I mean, it's one thing to buy Bitcoin. That's the thing for me. There is a difference. There's a difference between sending money to an exchange and showing a Bitcoin balance there versus actually setting up a wallet and taking those sats off the exchange, because then you know nobody can fuck with them. They're yours. It's the equivalent of planting your flag in the ground to say, hey, these sats, this fixed piece of property in cyberspace, these are mine. It's a great feeling. It is a very liberating feeling. Duncan's here. Good morning, Duncan. Nice little jump today. Yeah, I saw we had prices running up a bit, mostly because the DCAs are down. DCAs, I see a couple have come in already, so thank you. We'll get to those here right away, but I did notice that they are down from yesterday, which means the price of Bitcoin is up. When you get less sats for the same amount of dollars, the Bitcoin price is up. All right. Sorry, Rumble. Sorry, YouTube. We got to check on Noster here for a couple seconds. Not much happening over there right now. Conrad zapped 963 sats and said inverse Tesla zap. I like that. Thank you, Conrad. Samantha's over there in Zapstream, and Brunswick zapped 100 sats. Thank you, Brunswick. And big shout out to everybody over on the Noster chat today. Welcome. The smartest people are on Noster. The highest concentration of intelligent people Intelligence per capita is highest on Noster. I would say that's a pretty I don't know if it'd be subjective, not proven. Oh, sneeze coming. Sneeze get degrees. That's what they say, right? Sneeze get degrees. No, C's get degrees. Now my eyes are watering. Sick. Sick. All right, we had a zap come in through the 88 sats walled as well. Who's this? 383. The speed walled has a little new sign beside it now. I see. I don't know if anybody updated their speed wallet yesterday or today, but look at that little sat symbol. I think they're trying to call it bits, but we're not going to allow that. I don't even know if that's the official symbol yet or not. We're still ironing things out here in Bitcoin, but that is the official for now. I shouldn't say that. If it's the official for now, that would be unofficial symbol of sats. So thank you, Sats and Sunsets, for show 383. Praetorian's here. Good morning, Praetorian. Scotty sent a DCA. Thank you, Scotty. We'll get to those here in a sec. I should write it down, though. Scotty boy. Scotty DCA. Sketchucation says, yesterday was fun. Don't stress it. Yeah, I'm over it already. It was a good lesson. Sounds good. Thank you. Bernard's here. Good morning from Germany. Good morning, Bernard. I guess it'd be evening. You didn't say good morning there. I said it to you. Good afternoon in Germany. So we went to the store yesterday, or I didn't, I guess. I shouldn't say that. Went to the store yesterday because we needed some coffee. We're out of our Costa Rican coffee from Kev, and we're out of our Grey Ridge coffee. I need to order some more of that, actually. Grey Ridge. Did you know that we get 25% off Grey Ridge coffee? Grey Ridge order. And I think if you use the code KNG, you get 25% off. So if you're in Canada, they have some really, really good coffee. They're roasted here in Manitoba. Grey Ridge coffee. I think it's greyridge.coffee. Anyways, we went to the store yesterday. Or I didn't. I don't know why I keep saying we. I was there in spirit. And guess how much coffee was here? A tin of McDonald's coffee. A tin of McDonald's coffee. Closest guess gets a zap, 88 sats. How much do you think a tin of coffee was? McDonald's coffee. I don't know what the exact amount of it is, but like a can of coffee. It's pretty big. It lasts like a month or two, depending on how many cups we have here. All right, we have 30. We have 25. We have 1998. We have 24. This is in dollars, Canadian dollars. 21.98, $5.99, $15, $30, $13.49, 27, 8. Hey, BitBilly's here. Morning, BitBilly. 1888, 1498. Praetorian. 35. Eatable Zebra, 31.99. Getting closer. So far, nobody has got there yet. I'll say that. 32. Last guess, 45. ISO, you only get one guess. Try and cheat. Ginger says 32. McConnell, only get one guess, buddy. 42. Praetorian, you only get one guess. All right. Closest one here was actually, where was it? Praetorian. $35. The closest guess, because it was 40. 40. 30 years ago, you go into a grocery store, you could pretty much get everything you needed for the entire week. Meat, veggies, bread, everything else. 40 or 50 bucks, probably. Today, you walk into a store and a tin of coffee, one tin of coffee, $40. 40. So needless to say, we did not buy that coffee. $40. Okay, let's check out what's Grey Ridge got going on here. This is going to be a minute dedicated to Canadians here for a second. Let's get Praetorian off the screen there. Sorry, Zap stream. Oh, nobody guessed over there anyways. Afia, Todd zapped 1,000 sats over on Noster. Thank you, Todd. So this is Grey Ridge. Great local coffee company here. They are Bitcoiners. They support Bitcoiners. This is actually one of our sponsors for the Bitcoin golf tour that we did this summer and last summer. All right, what's the good one here? There's a Ridge blend. Ridge Dark. This is a good one here. So this is $13.99 Canadian. So if you go add to cart, let's see if this works. Proceed to checkout. Let's see if this code is still active. Look at that. You can pay in Bitcoin. Crypto.com. Not great, but not bad. Discount code. Let's try this out. I mean, it's pretty cool when it's just like normal that people accept Bitcoin on their website now. A couple years ago, that would have just been a foreign concept. There it is. Still works. So if you're looking for some coffee, I would place a big order of these. These are really, really good coffee. They're roasted right here in Manitoba. And I don't know if they ship to the US, but Canadians for sure. So you can use the discount code KNG and save 25% off. That's a pretty good discount. So that's greyridge.coffee. Let me share that link. greyridge.coffee. Oh, it's greyridgecoffee.ca, but it takes you to the same place. So I'll share that. This is for the Canadians out there. You could try in the US. I don't know if he's going to ship there or not, but I'm sure it'll tell you if they don't. So shout out to Grey Ridge. So that's $13. It's not as much coffee, obviously, but it is better coffee, I think, than McDonald's in a can. So get a couple packs. My favorite is the Grey Ridge Dark there that we had in the cart. And I also like you can get a 5-pound bag too. That might be the better play. 5-pound bag, Ridge Dark and Ridge Blend. Those are my two favorites right there. I haven't tried. Oh, they got espresso too. Wow. I'm going to place an order today. So I'm going to get the Ridge Dark, the Ridge Blend, and the espresso, not espresso. 5-pounder. So this one's $68, but that's still pretty. I'd be interested to know how much that tin of coffee has in it. I don't think it's 5 pounds. Anyways, yeah, highway robbery is right. Frig, $40. Hey, we got Josh over in Noster. Josh said, "Morning, Noster. What up, eh? Is Arn at work today, or is he being an NDP deadbeat?" Oh, wow. Arn. I don't know if you can see him or not, but his head's kind of squished against the door there. I got him his bigger bed today, so he'd be a little bit more comfy, but he's still halfway off it anyways. He's getting too big. He's too big, but his head's between the door and the bed. Josh called you a NDP. An NDP deadbeat, actually, not just an NDP. He doesn't. Oh, there he is. That woke him up. The deadbeat comment got him. So thank you, Josh. We got to write down Josh for the legendary zap. Thank you, Josh. All right, let's I missed some comments here. Let's get back. McHoddle's here. Bodie's here. Good morning, Bodie. Bitcoin Generations. Ivan says, "Good morning from Saskatchewan." Wow, that's kind of cool. Cheers. I was just in Saskatchewan last weekend. Watching some football. Did I watch much football? No. Was I there? Yes. Did I drink enough water? No. Did I drink enough tequila? Yes. Ohio here. Go Bucks. Go sports. Go sports, Bodie. Huge sports guys here. Crypto Princess is here. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Crypto Princess. Lucky's just chilling. Yeah. That's what he does all day. What a life. Unfortunately, I have to work for Fiat, but I'll still be in and out. No problem. Looks like it's going to be a pump day for hump day. Nice. I like that. I like that. Good and bad. Good news is we're richer. Bad news is we get less sats for the same amount of dollars. What are we at right now? 114. We're buzzing. We are buzzing. I'd love to see another Thunderstruck post. I'd like to see that. It's been a long time, like a month. What was I going to do in here? Oh yeah, let's get the wallet up here. Let's get the wallet up here. We got no sponsors on the show. We just have some affiliate codes, some relationships with people, but the show is community funded, 100% community funded. So things like the affiliate links, we get a little kickback. Usually when you sign up for something, two things I'd say. Number one, if you're somewhat new to Bitcoin, even if you're not, if you don't have a fresh Bitcoin email address, you should get one today and start using that when you sign up for different things. And usually when you sign up for something, you always want to have like an affiliate code or referral code because you always get something for that, whether it's like a discount or some free Bitcoin, whatever. But that helps the channel, and then also the zaps and super chats and rants over on the green one. Eatable Zebra is here. What a name. Jake says, bed made, coffee in hand. Let's get her done today. Eh? Hey, look at that, Jake. Jake and Josh both got the A's at the end of everything. I like it. Scotty says Zapstream is broken. Well, it looks like there's 21 people over there in Nostr right now. Seems to be working for some, Scotty. Maybe Japan's just blocked out. You're gonna have to set your government on fire like Nepal. Like the absolute legends in Nepal. Nostr does rock. Anybody not on Nostr right now, you're messing up big time. Cypher says, morning, everyone. Checking in. DCA sent. All right. We got several DCAs coming through the airwaves today. Okay, we had Scotty. We had Duncan. Of course, we had Duncan. We had Cypher. And I think we got one. Oh, and Todd. From Todd. Man, we're full today. We're trying to drink more coffee today than dipshit juice, unlike yesterday. Yesterday we went full out dipshit juice. We were slugging it. Shotgunning dipshit juice yesterday. I remember I shotgunned beer one time on the Bitcoin Amigo show. I forget why. Why did I do that? That was maybe an all-time high. Shotgun the beer, though. I don't know if that's ever been done on a Bitcoin podcast before. Should try to find that. I should clip that. All right, what's going on here? Timber Crasher. Good morning, Timber Crasher. No pain, no gain. That's right. You can buy some coffee on Nostr for $50 a bag. Satoshi something? BitBilly. My man. Good morning, BitBilly. We got a bunch of guesses here. Get through the guesses. Praetorian, you need to put your lightning address in the chat there. I'll send you 88 sats right now. RFN right fucking now. Highway robbery. Yes, that's right. $40. Holy F. Damn F the money printer. And yes, McHoddle is absolutely right. On point here. It's not going to get better. It's going to get more expensive, which is hard to believe. Probably one day in the not so distant future, we'll go down to the store and that tin of coffee will be $100. And people are like, but people will be making videos still, yelling at the wind. Inflation's too high. Society's fucked. I can't get ahead. I work as hard as I can. I'm making more money than I've ever made. And I still can't survive. I can't go on a trip with my husband into the woods. Nothing will change. And we'll still be sitting here like, hey, you know, there's this thing called Bitcoin that they can't print more of. Sharon B, WTF, that's twice as much it is here. Yeah. It's nuts, but the dollar's better in the US too. So BTC pleb, link please. Oh, Jay's going to get some coffee. Nice. I think I put it in there for you, Jay. Joshua is on Rumble, YouTube, and zapping on Nostr. Hard to beat that. 4,300 yen for coffee. That's nearly my weekly mortgage. What? That can't be right. Weekly mortgage. Yeah, that seems wild. Do you live in a box, Scotty? Shoebox? Or are you still living in 1971? Todd Goddard, my friend. Thank you. You ever tried Gaija coffee? No. Good morning. VHF's here. Good morning, VHF. Arnie is a commie. No, that's what Josh called him. Called him a NDP deadbeat. But he's here today. He's here today. He's adding value to the world. Can't really see him. But he's here. I think those coffee tins are just under 2 pounds. Yeah, so even local roasted coffee is about, what would that be? 2 pounds times 40 would be $80 plus another 20. So it'd be $100 for that McDonald's coffee for the same amount of 5 pounds. $100. So not only do you get better coffee, not only is it less expensive, but you can also get 25% off. So there, Canadians, GrayRidge.coffee. Support your fellow Bitcoiners. James is here. Good morning, James. Mop says, hey, can you explain what the Start9 does? Like, does it help you spin a full node? I don't get it as much. Yeah. I mean, that's one use case for it. That's definitely not the only reason why I bought a Start9, because they're not cheap. They're pretty expensive. So I use my Start9 for quite a few things. It's actually, think of it more like your own server, your own personal server. It's kind of like here, let me just share this with you instead of me trying to explain it. How about that? And I encourage everybody here to go watch this today. This is one of my favorite dudes, maybe my favorite dude. I wouldn't call him like a Bitcoin. I don't know. We talked about our top 3 last week, but this isn't. I wouldn't call him like a Bitcoin. I don't even want to say influencer because I hate that word. Content creator. This guy's just a guy who builds cool shit. So this is Matt Hill from Start9. So I'll let him explain what the Start9 is to you. How about that?
Co-founders and CEO of Start9. Start9 is primarily responsible for making an open source Linux distribution called StartOS, which makes it easy for a non-technical person to own and operate a personal server, as opposed to a personal computer or mobile device, which we're all more familiar with. Why would someone want to run a personal server? At this conference, one of the main answers to that question is to run a Bitcoin node or a Lightning node, or one of the various Bitcoin and Lightning services that are available on top of those protocols. So today I'm going to be talking about nodes. In particular, I'm going to...
There you go. That's a better answer than I could have given. So that's Matt Hill. That's the co-founder and CEO of Start9. Great dude. I've had the pleasure of chatting with Matt a couple times, and I absolutely love what he's building at Start 9. He's just a good guy. You know, I only talked to him for, I don't even know what it was, half an hour, 45 minutes. But I could just tell, I could sense how good of a guy he was and what they're building there. Very intelligent fella, and also very privacy focused, which is privacy and sovereignty focused, which is something that I think we should all be striving to do a little bit more in our life. So yes, it's an easy way to run a node. That's what I would say. There's other ways to do it, cheaper ways to do it, but Start 9 gives you a lot more functionality. Like I use RoboSats on my Start 9, which you can buy Bitcoin without entering your identification in. So that's a good one. That's a good one. If you want to pick up a Start 9, you can go to start9.com or something. Use the code 88SAT. You're going to get 25, not 25, $50 off. $50 off your purchase. Francis says, good morning, Jor. Thank you for your commitment to educating the masses on the value of Bitcoin. Let's talk soon. Good to see you, Francis. Francis, yes, we should chat. We should chat ASAP as possible, as Michael Scott would say. Getting a new PM here, so kind of have. Wish we could have a new PM. Canada could learn from Nepal. Yeah, no doubt. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. ISO says, just learned now that France's government collapsed again. I don't know. I don't know. All right, we got Pepe the Frogs over in Noster. He said, lots of people with septum rings crashing out lately. Yeah, very true. And Kevin zapped 88 sats. Nice number there, Kev. Said the chances of us being wrong about Bitcoin are approximately the same as the chances that the moon has a chewy chocolate center. In other words, we are right about Bitcoin. We are indeed right about Bitcoin. VHF says, bro was pouring dipshit juice in his eyes yesterday. Yes, I was. Scotty says, 3-bedroom house. Japan hasn't had inflation in the 2000s until just recently. Interesting. Interesting, Scotty boy. Jaren says, yeah, seeing you had to start 9 knots node. I got her running. Yep. Got her up and running. I think I'm gonna do a video about that today on Arnie and me. Should we, Arn? Oh, he moved. He said, thanks, Dad, for this nice comfy bed, but I'm just gonna sleep on the floor instead. So yeah, I think we're gonna talk about this today. I'm not gonna talk about it in the show today, but I think we're gonna do a video. That's my plan today anyways. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. We're gonna have a crazy couple days here because we got the Ryder Cup coming up. Sketchucation says if he plays a video, we could be in for audio issues. Yeah, I didn't even double check there, but that wasn't a video, was it? Yeah, it was. See, that's what that's the weird thing about it is, like, I play videos all the time here, and the audio never goes off. So, anyways, let's get the email opened up. Let's get to this Bitcoin security playbook. Is it easy to set up the node once you have the Start 9, Jor? Yes, very easy. And do you need a PC to hook the Start 9, or is it standalone? So what I did here, that's a good question, VHF. That was kind of one of my main questions that I had right off the hop. So what I ended up doing was, it's very easy. Like, I'm telling you right now, I let my Start 9 sit there for like a month because I'm like, shit, I don't know how to do this thing. I don't have more than 5 minutes here to learn how to do this. But literally what you do is you plug it into the wall. You connect it to your Ethernet cable, I think. Yep. And then it has some USB slots in it. It has an HDMI cord. So what I did, I don't know if everybody has to do this or not, but this is what I did. I plugged my HDMI into my Start 9, and then I plugged it into my second monitor here. And then I plugged a keyboard in because you have to enter a password. You got to type some stuff. And then I plugged a mouse in. So keyboard, mouse into the USB slots, monitor into the HDMI cord, the Ethernet cable, and then it just kind of walks you through everything on the screen. And then from there, you can actually set it up where you don't have to be connected. Like I could run it right now through Tor on this laptop. Like I could connect remotely through Tor, which sounds very complicated, but it's not. You just need to download the Tor browser. You need to get the address from Start9, like it'll give you it when you fire everything up. And then you just put it into your, whatever that thing's called. I learned about this in computer class 25 years ago. What's this thing called? Wherever you type in an address, whatever that slot's called. So you paste that into there, copy, email it to yourself, whatever you need to do. And then you can connect remotely. So I don't have to have it like plugged into a monitor all the time. It's always running in the background. And I can essentially connect to it remotely through this laptop. So it's very easy, very easy. And again, it sounds complicated. Whenever I hear Tor, I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what Tor is. I don't know how to use that. But I just downloaded a browser. I punched in the address from Start9, and then you can connect remotely. Hope that helps. McConnell says, off to the fiat mines. I'll be watching as I drive there. Fun fact, the U.S. has more people looking for jobs than job openings. A clue Fed, they will likely change policy and lower rates or print. Yeah, that jobs report was rough. I think the U.S. lost almost 1 million jobs. Was that in August or was that in like a quarter? Because that's a lot of jobs lost. Almost 1 million. I think it was 910,000 jobs lost in the U.S. And the crazy thing is that it's really just getting started. That number is going to keep going down and down and down and down. Sats and Sunset says 5% Sats back for Start9 gift cards with Fold. Yes. So you can actually get $100 off. They're not available right now, though. So I don't know why I'm wasting my time talking about this. But they're going to be available, I think, in 9 days from now. They're expected to be. So you get $100 off on the website. You get 5% back if you got Fold, 5% Sats back. So not 5% off, but you get Sats back, which is same thing. And then 5% using the 88 Sats discount code. So huge, huge, huge shout out to Start9. Absolutely love that company. Love Matt. Happy to support them any way that I can. France is up in flames too. Yeah, everything's up in flames right now. We're literally living through that meme right now where there's a fire happening in the background and it says everything is fine. There's that dog sitting at the table. That's reality right now. Dalton, drop a like, especially if you're on Roomble. I might start calling it Roomble instead of what it is so that YouTube doesn't flag me even more. We got 40 people over in Roomble and 16 likes. Last time that happened, I fell back in my chair and broke my my miner. So let's not let that happen again. ISO says, how's the power consumption of the miner and node? I would say insignificant. I haven't noticed like anything. Maybe $5 a month, maybe. URL, yes. Thank you, Sharon. Look at that profile pic, Sharon. Superhero. Naughty Vlogs. Have you thought about doing live calls on the live stream? No. That'd be a shit show. I don't get paid nearly enough to do that. And when I say I get paid not nearly enough, I get paid zero. I shouldn't say that because I get like $5 a month from YouTube. And all the zaps that people send in, it's fake. It's fake internet money. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I think that'd be fun, but it'd be a shit show. But here's the thing. I'm actually going to start doing, I don't know if it's going to be like in the new year or before that or a little bit later, but I actually am going to start having people on here. I got a huge list of guests that I want to have on the channel. So now all I have to do is put together some sort of a template to send people, set up a link that they can join. And my plan is to do, we're going to stop doing the morning show, which is going to be kind of sad. We'll see how long it lasts. I might miss the morning shows. We might go back to that. But I really think that this is going to be a lot of fun because we're going to try to have a new guest on every day, and not just like mainstream Bitcoiners like Lynn Alden and Larry Lepard, although I love them. But I feel like there's hundreds of episodes that people could listen to if they cared. So I want to have some like different people on. Like I want to have Matt Hill on. I want to have some people from Noster on. Obviously some bigger names too. I want to have Odell on. Gigi would be top of my list probably. No, that's a lie. Naval would be top of my list. Naval Ravikant would be top of my list. I just don't know how people are going to feel about doing it live. Like I do a live show every day, so I'm kind of used to it. But I don't know if like some of the bigger names have any issues with doing it live. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to that. So, I mean, that's one thing. Like if you actually want to come on the show, I might share the link for people to join, but it won't be like a live call, like a one question kind of thing. It'll be like a full hour and a half conversation. Looking forward to it. It'll be a nice change for the show. Lost AI. Yeah, probably. Macro says Bitcoin Core version 30 is keeping me up at night. I see it as an existential threat. I don't understand how Saylor can remain silent. I mean, Saylor's kind of said his piece on it. Saylor said his piece in a roundabout way. He said that he believes in ossification of Bitcoin, which means don't change anything. Which means Saylor does not support V30. You know, everything that I'm seeing, and it could just be my little echo chamber here, but everything that I'm seeing, like I'm not too worried about it. I think that there's enough people, including myself, who have started running knots and who have basically just more than anything else given a middle finger to the core team for how they've handled this whole situation. So my original plan was just to not update to V30 because I never believed that it was a good thing. Right off the hop, like even 3 months ago, I'm like, I'm probably not going to update here. So I was going to be in the camp of just like not doing anything, like leaving. I think I was running version 28 of Core at the time. And I was happy to do that because I still wasn't going to update to 30. But then I was like, you know what? I don't like what's coming from the other side. I don't like how they're handling this. I think they need a bit of a wake-up call here. And so I wanted to be part of that. So I started running knots as pretty much just as a middle finger to the people who have been absolute dipshits on the other side of things. So not everybody is. Like there's obviously a lot of really great Bitcoin Core developers out there who have made a very large impact on what we're building here. But there are a few. And I think the other thing too there is that there's already a lot of people running knots. Like I think it's at 19%, whether those numbers are accurate or not. That's still pretty impressive in only a couple months. And I also think that there's going to be a lot of people who just don't update from version 28 or 29. I think that they're going to be very surprised to see how very few people actually update to V30, at least right off the hop, and maybe ever. And then I don't know what's going to happen from there. Like, I don't know what the core team does then. Like, do they blow things up? Do they change it? Do they add the filter back in? I doubt it. But how does that play out long term? That's what I'm kind of wondering here, because core has been for the last 16 years pretty much the standard. I think they call it a reference implementation. But what happens when they lose that? Like, do they blow things up? Do they revise? Do enough people update to 30? I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. Joe says, sorry, I'm late, coach. Just got back from a 9-hole at our local course. Nice. Love that. It's beautiful out here today. We had a nice view of Lucky this morning sitting on the chair right here. I don't know if he's still there or not, but Not a cloud in the sky. I will be getting some golf today, hopefully, too, Joe. 1 million jobs lost to AI, never to return. That'd be wild. I keep hearing both sides of it, right? Because people are like, well, we know that the AI is going to replace a bunch of mundane jobs, but it should also create a whole bunch of jobs. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. We'll see. We will see. I would bet on those jobs never coming back. But who knows? I bet the lost jobs to replace by AI will be the manual ones that require real world special awareness. I don't know. I think manual ones that require real world special awareness. Like what? Like name an example of what job you'd be talking about there, VHF, because I kind of agree. Like there's definitely things that humans can do that AI can't do. But what are you referring to? Macro Bitcoin, thanks for the laugh. Get some sleep. I can't wait to hear 10 years from now in classrooms the historic moments in Bitcoin, the block size wars and the node wars. I don't know if it'll be 10 years from now, maybe like 50. I think in 10 years from now, schools will be still dancing around in fiat land like dipshits. But jobs like lawyers and accountants will be the first to be eliminated. I don't agree with that, because there's still a large percentage of the population, like boomers, who love going to see their lawyer, who love going to see their accountants. And I think that if anything, lawyers will actually use AI, accountants will actually use AI to become more efficient. And so the accountants and lawyers, they'll just start slowly removing the bottom layers, like the admin staff, some of them, the staff accountants that can pretty much be done by AI already. And it'll be up to the higher ups, I guess you'd say, to utilize AI. I don't think that they'll be replaced in the next 20 years. I think there'll be many, many jobs replaced by AI before something like lawyers and accountants. They're going to utilize AI. I mean, Saylor talks about that all the time. He'll use AI first, and this is like a very advanced human being, Saylor. But eventually people are going to catch on to this. And so what Saylor does is he actually uses AI as kind of like his legal advisor first, and then he sends it to a lawyer to kind of review and make any changes to it. So I think they'll actually work very well in tandem for a while, because boomers aren't going to start doing their taxes with AI, just realistically, not in our lifetime. Rich says, can you talk about the ledger issue, JavaScript thing? What was my take on it here? I forget. It turned out to be pretty much nothing. It turned out to be a big nothing burger. I forget where this thing was now. Shit. You know, if you join a community like, well, the Visionary's going to be coming soon here, but you want to join a community because you're going to be the first to know things. You're not going to have to go through Reddit and Twitter and everything else to find out any information. You're going to have people just like you talking about it and asking questions. I don't know what it is, but basically what I said is, number one, cold card mixed with Sparrow remains undefeated. I think that's the main takeaway for me. Main takeaway, there's been a lot of different issues and scares in Bitcoin, and I'm pretty sure that Cold Card and Sparrow have been pretty much too immune to every attack, because they're building it the right way. So the ledger issue, I think, ended up costing like 50 cents. It was a huge fucking scare. And I'm not shitting on BTC Sessions here and his partner there, but it seemed like it was a little bit overblown, and it turned out to be. But at the same time, it's nice to kind of be updated, I guess, with that kind of stuff, to just be aware that it's happening. But I think the total issue was like 50 cents worth of Ethereum. So in other words, nothing. But yeah, I still would never suggest using Ledger to anybody, any serious Bitcoiner. And I know there's going to be some people in the chat bitching about that, but that's my opinion. Ledger has had plenty of issues in the past. And I know there's going to be some people in the chat that say every issue has been a user issue, and that's fucking bullshit. That's not true. Ledger has had many leaks of their customers' information, and it might not seem like a big deal right now, but when Bitcoin hits $10 million and the list of people who have purchased Ledgers is circulating, that's a big problem. And Ledger's too worried about, you should never use a device that has shitcoins on it, ever. Too many distractions. Serious companies are Bitcoin only. They're focused on Bitcoin. They protect their customers' information. They focus on privacy, security, and open source too, or verifiable source. And Ledger does none of those things. So if you're a serious Bitcoiner, do not store your Bitcoin on a Ledger. That's what I would say to that. Ledger is more concerned about shitcoins than anything else and protecting their customers' information. So fuck them. And you can disagree with me all you want to. I'm not going to change my opinion. Boog. 250 sats. Nice. Good morning, Boog. Welcome back, man, or woman. But that's it. Wow, YouTube's flooding in here. What happened? Somebody boost me? Sat Standard. Spaceman's here. Good morning, peeps. Good morning, Spaceman. Sat Standard says action cures fear. Bitcoin cures currency. Nostr cures social. I like that. Kevin says the true worth of the entire Ethereum ecosystem isn't too much more than 50 cents. Agreed. Agreed. Duncan, what's that about? That sounds awesome. Missed something there. It was not successful, and we don't advocate for Ledger over here. Bingo. Dalton says there's still work to be done. Not enough knots nodes quite yet. Can you get Breedlove and Brian Harrington? We might get Brian. I don't know about Breedlove. I don't know. I like Breedlove. He's put out some good information, but I don't know. I don't know if him and I always think about, when I'm thinking about Bitcoiners and who I'd like to have on, are like people that I would like to go have a beer with. And I don't know. I don't know that I would. So that might be a maybe. Agreed. Almost nobody will upgrade. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, people are way too worried about this. I'm going to talk about it though on my on the walk today. VHF says, I'm used to being careful to verify the address I send digital assets to. As long as you follow best practices of cold storage, Ledger is a good storage option. This is false. And I'm not going to have that on the screen. Core 30 is keeping up. I'm ready to sell if I don't see any pulse in the Bitcoin community. Well, that'll be the worst decision of your life. But you do you. Macro says it's the allowing of CP onto the network that's the threat. Doesn't matter what you run, and it's already happened to BSV. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, again, I've covered this like the last 3 days in a row, but I don't know if it's a possibility or not that happens. It seems like it has with BSV already in the past, so there is precedent there. And when I'm unfamiliar or don't know, uncertain about something, I always lean on the side of caution. So that's why I decided to run knots, because it honestly seemed like a no-brainer to me. And I was just looking for some sort of reason why it'd be a bad idea, and I couldn't find one. So I searched pretty hard too. I searched pretty hard. Like trade. So if this does happen and this shit starts happening in Bitcoin, I will not be relaying it. Like trades. Yeah, trades definitely. I think the trades is probably the best thing you can be in right now. Up there anyways. I think that if you're going to think about a job, I think trades are the best, whether that's an electrician, a plumber, a carpenter, anything that requires manual work. I do think that AI will eventually, some of the more dangerous jobs will be replaced by robots, not AI, not like Chat GPT, but like they'll have robots do the jobs, which will make them more efficient as well. But it'll be the trades that actually utilize that are most profitable and sustainable. But the best job, the best 9 to 5 that you can do is a trade. And you take your profits, your salary, your wage, and you put that into Bitcoin. That is pretty much the only way that you're going to survive this next decade, by having a job. Get a trade, go to work, store your effort in Bitcoin. On the flip side, you could also be, one thing that AI is not going to replace is creative work. It's going to help creative work, but it's not going to replace it, because humans love humans. Humans love humans. And I'm sure you've seen some of the bullshit AI videos on YouTube. And yeah, they might have a bit of good information on there, but it's not the same. It's not the same. So AI cannot be creative and human like a human can. Probably ever. I don't know that for sure, but yeah, there's going to be some jobs that are pretty safe from AI. I think it'll help create jobs we haven't thought of yet. Maybe. I'm not sure if it helps create the same amount that it replaced. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too, but I don't know. Bitcoin Golf Pro is back today, except 11 sats, and said, Bitcoin fighting strengthens Bitcoin. Thanks for doing God's work, Jor. Thank you, Bitcoin Golf Pro, my man. I agree with that. Bitcoin fighting strengthens Bitcoin. Absolutely agree with that. It's been kind of a blessing in disguise, honestly, that a lot of people don't see right now. Sats and Sunset says the people who lose their job to AI will be forced to become more productive, resulting in a net positive for the world. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it this way, like people's value have been going down for the last 10 years. Like wages in real terms have been going down and down and down. And it's not just because ChatGPT came out with a new update. It's because people have been using technology, utilizing things like AI now, but other things too. And people's value has been going down and down and down in real terms. Even though they're getting a nice 2% inflation adjustment every year, they might get a nice bonus or a nice raise. Actual wages in real terms in gold or Bitcoin have been going down and will continue to go down forever. So if you're at a job right now and you're working, today is probably the most actual money that you're ever going to make in your life again, which is kind of crazy. But if you look at the chart of wages in real terms, in Bitcoin terms, it's going down and down and down because humans are becoming less and less valuable. And so we're going to get to live through this whole thing of, you know, humans being replaced by AI, but that's not a bad thing. A lot of people see it as like and it's going to be tough times for a while for a lot of people. But it's not a bad thing. It's good. It's good that somebody doesn't have to sit in a fucking toll booth for 12 hours a day and literally waste away their lives, or sit at a grocery counter and ring in groceries for their whole life. Like, that's not a bad thing. I don't think that that's why humans were put on this planet, personally. You'll have different types of jobs. You will probably find a job just talking to another human in the future. Yep, I actually agree with that. Real estate agents, poof on the backside of this. Yes, real estate agents for sure. But I actually think that real estate agents are going to do very well for like the next decade as more and more people, well, yeah, probably. Like kind of my theory with this is that I think that people are going to start unloading their second properties, like their rental, their Airbnb. They're going to start unloading those to buy Bitcoin because it just makes way more sense. So real estate agents are going to get the commissions of all those sales, of people offloading their real estate to buy Bitcoin or gold. But then eventually, as prices fall, as more and more people, I think that less and less people will be buying and selling, because think about how much realtors have made from like people buying rental properties in the last 20 years, 30 years. Tons and tons and tons. And that's going to stop. They're going to sell them all people will actually live in the fucking houses, and then real estate agents won't really have much work to do after that. So I think that they're going to get absolutely slammed here in the next decade as people unload their real estate to buy Bitcoin. But then after that, it's going to be there's going to be a fraction of the amount of realtors that there are today. That's my prediction. Bankers, 100%, and they're already replaced, man. Like, I went into the city. When was that? I had to get some money for the bus. I had to get some cash. So my dad was actually GM or CEO of the local credit union in the area here. And so he was part of the credit union that I went into in the city. And I remember walking into, this is before COVID happened. You'd walk into that place, there'd be 40 people in the office, maybe 50. Every desk had somebody sitting at it. They'd have coffee there. You could walk in, somebody would pretty much say hi to you. It was a little bit overkill, but at the same time, there's lots of action in there. I walked in there last month. I had to stand there in an empty lobby and wait to be helped by the one employee that was in this huge fucking building. But yeah, bankers for sure will be replaced. For sure. Because they're middlemen. All middlemen are going to get replaced. Personal assistants. I think that some will, shitty ones will for sure be replaced. But like now, if a personal assistant actually knows how to utilize AI, one personal assistant could actually work for like 20 people. So the good ones, the cream is going to rise here in everything, in every aspect of life. The cream is going to rise to the top. Everything else is going to fall to the wayside. But like the best of the best and the people who are using AI and using it properly are actually going to become more valuable. Samantha says there's an interesting Harvard online course for lawyers and law students to integrate Python and code. Interesting. Wow. That is cool. Plural says, the stream on Nostr has had the same title all week. What if we are wrong about Bitcoin? Well, what if we are? I'm pretty sure the last title we had on Nostr was there for like a month and a half. Because I usually just connect it and then it starts. You don't have to like put a profile pic in there or anything, but I probably should update the, now that there's actually more people showing up in Nostr, I should actually update it every day. So good point, plural. Point taken. Duncan says, Craig was all over it. Put all the info in the Signal chat. The Living the Future community is the best out there. I agree. Strongly agree with that. If you can find a better community than Living the Future, I dare you to find one and let me know what it is. I don't think that there is. I know it's kind of crazy because we have like 200 people in there and there's 8 billion people in the world, but I really think that it is the best community, and the Visionaries community is going to be a step above that. I got so many good things planned for that community. So you still can join. You still can join in between now and when the Visionary comes out. You can join the Living the Future. You get a ton of shit in there. Not shit, I guess, stuff. But you get the 365 days of Bitcoin course. You get the 21 days of Bitcoin intro course. You get the multi-generational wealth course and a ton more going on in there. The cool thing is when we actually morph over to school with the Visionary stuff, it's going to have all that same content that's only available in the community. Plus there's going to be active discussion like the school stuff. It's pretty cool. So that's going to happen. What is it today? September 10th. It's going to happen over the next month. So if you're somebody who's in Living the Future, just stay patient. 8 Satoshis, stay patient. We're basically going to create a new group chat for all the Visionaries. It's going to be in Signal as well, because I think that Signal is the most effective way to do it. Plus we're going to have the school where you can have all the same discussion, except you can actually do more with it than just Signal. So yes, let me share this for anybody. And I don't know exactly what we're going to do yet, but whoever is a Living in the Future member is going to actually have get a nice little discount on the Visionary membership. So if you're interested in becoming a Visionary in the future, I actually would suggest signing up as for the Living in the Future. I think you can join it like $5 a month. So it's really laughable how cheap it is and what you get for it. But it's going to evolve into the visionary community. So I threw that in the chat there. If you're interested in joining, you're going to get anybody who is a member on the day that we merge, or I don't know what it would be called. I don't know what word I'm looking for here. But you're going to get a nice discount on the visionary fees. Your information is leaked by every institution that has it, dude. VHF, I don't get where you're coming from here. I don't. That's not true. It's not true. Some businesses actually give a shit about their customers, and companies like Foundation, they actually delete their customers' information after like 1 or 2 months. I think CoinKite deletes their customer information after like 6 months. So yes, Ledger definitely leaks information. It's happened. And yes, Ledger probably made money from leaking your information, but not all companies do that. So I just don't know what you're trying to accomplish or prove here. If you want to use Ledger, like, I don't care. I'm telling you, any serious Bitcoiner is not using a Ledger. And if you want to take a survey of like 200 Bitcoiners who have been around for the last 10 years, probably 0 of them use a Ledger. So what does that tell you? John Chess says, I know this is Bitcoin and iHODL, but can we give a shout out to GameStop? See what they did yesterday. Fuck GameStop. I sold my shares in GameStop. What did they do though? GameStop really dropped the ball, in my opinion. GameStop news? What happened yesterday? GameStop, from meme to financial engineering masterclass. The company now holds $9.2 billion in cash and Bitcoin, increased largely due to convertible bond issuance. What did they do? I'm off GameStop. It was not a ledger issue. Ledger warned us about it. It was hacked. Oh, I know that. I know that. Should all be open source anyways. Yes. VHF says, hell, your phone listens to everything you say and caters advertisements. I'm not disagreeing with that. But what does that have to do with this? Jake says, agree, Duncan. Was great to get that info from Craig. Gil says, I already have completely set up one key wallet. I don't want to switch. What does that mean? I already have completely set up my one key wallet. I don't want to switch. I don't even know what a one key wallet is. Cannot be fully open source because of the secure element chips. I don't even think Ledger has a secure element chip. Actually, I should double check that before I give we're not even going to waste time with it. Do not use it. If you're a serious Bitcoiner, do not use a Ledger. I'm not going to change my opinion on that. The effect is limited to the software counterpart of the hardware wallets. No, like Trezor Suite, not the Trezor itself. Yep. Yep. But at the end of the day, I don't think anybody was actually affected by it. But it is a risk now, right? Like any of these Ledger Lives or Trezor Suites, or I'm guessing even Foundations, I think they have one that they use like the software for it. I'm guessing that would have been vulnerable on that little issue. No commission AI agents will remove most white collar jobs. Trades will be saturated with no jobs since people have no money only at the top. I mean, that's another part of it too. Like I was watching, what were we? Oh God, we've been watching American Gladiators. Fuck, that's a wild show. I'm just tired of like all the new shows. They're all kind of just the same, and they're all woke. But American Gladiators from like the 80s, I think it was. But anyways, Amazon still shows ads on there because I guess we don't pay them enough. But there was it was a phone. It was a Google ad, and they were advertising Google Gemini. And basically the guy pointed his phone with Gemini open, pointed it at the plumbing and said, I lost my wedding ring down the drain. Where do I start? And the AI basically highlighted the part that they needed to remove, how to do it. So yeah, I actually do agree with this in the sense that there will be a lot more people doing projects around the house now by themselves because they have unlimited information for free. So a lot of this stuff isn't that hard to do. You just need a little bit of time and you need some guidance on it. So with that in mind, like the trades, I think like the really good trades, they'll still be very busy, but they won't have like the normal come to my house and fix this because people will have the ability to do that now thanks to AI. So that's a good point. That's a good point. And Solar says, morning Solar, won't lose your job to AI. You're going to lose it to someone who knows AI. Exactly. Oh, saturated. Okay. I wasn't sure what you meant there. I said susserated. I thought that was a word. Saturated. Yes. Okay. What's going on over here? Kevin says, how does one join Living the Future? I'll share the link over there for you, Kev. Right there. I shared it in the YouTube and Rumble as well. Bitcoin Nurse, good morning. Supply chain workers, they need AI bots for efficiently and error reduction. Yes, efficiency. Daniel says, picked up my cold card queue yesterday. Nice. Migrate. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Scotty. Google has all your information. Facebook too. The government also. Duncan says, so we will have to pay Patreon fee and visionary fee. No. Nope. It'll be just one. So it's kind of shitty for me because I think there's like 400 people over in the Living in the Future. About half of them are paid, but we're actually going to merge those people into Visionaries, and Visionaries is actually owned by a community. It's not just me. So I'm sacrificing, I don't know if it's dumb or not, but I think it's the way that it should be, because being in these communities, like a lot of the value is actually derived from other members of the community. Like I was the one who organized it and brought everybody together and created the space for it. But there's a lot of really intelligent people in there who offer a lot of value. So I think that it should be a community. The community should benefit from it, not just me. So that's why we're making the switch from just me and Patreon to a community owned. It is community owned, the Visionaries one. So you won't have to pay both. It'll be Visionary now if you want to join that. But I'll have more information coming on that. Don't panic. But I would say if you are interested in becoming a Visionary, you probably want to become a Living in the Future member first, because you're going to get a nice little discount on a lifetime Visionary fee. Ledger sucks. Agreed. When the account is deleted, the data is still there, at least with Facebook. Yes, truth. Whatever. Ledger has never had seed phrase hacked or leaked. It is safe. All right. Bad Gal B says, love hearing the different perspectives on how the future could look. Sometimes it seems like it'd go either extreme. It's going to be a bumpy road. No doubt about that. Regardless of how much Bitcoin you own, I don't think anybody's going to be immune for it. But one thing I would say, honestly, and you can take this how you want to, but the one recommendation that I would have for every single person here is get the fuck out of the cities. That's what I would say to that. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be very, very chaotic. And wouldn't you rather live here? That's going to be, those trees are going to be turned into sats one day. I got susserated last night. That's what it sounds like. Susserated. I'm going to get susserated tonight, this weekend. Absolutely susserated. Does this coffee have a bottom to it? That's what I'm wondering. Sabian says, I offer a free system, AI system that builds teams for you on autopilot. No skills needed. Okay, well, share Sabian, hop over to, you got two options here. You could either email me that right now and I'll share it with people here. I'm happy to do that. You put in proof of work in this community here. So I'm happy to do that. Whoa, that's big. 88 sats of proton data. That's fat. I love this new orange. Jerry's using the orange too now after the live stream that we did the other day. Jerry's on the orange train. And speaking of orange, did you guys see that the new iPhone comes out in orange and also has Bitcoin native built into it? So Sabian here, shoot me an email or put it in the Rumble chat if you have a link or somewhere you could send that to, and I'll check that right now. Oh, I got to sneeze, and I've never sneezed on a live stream before somehow. What was I doing there? Oh yeah, I actually had the iPhone up, but that's kind of my theory. That was always my theory. You can look back on the shows here, and you could see my theory on Apple. I always said Apple's going to be the last one to the party here, but they're going to perfect it. That's what Apple does. Although Apple today is a little bit different than Apple a decade ago, but I still think that they have their a pretty large team there with some pretty smart people. So my theory was that Apple was going to wait and let everybody else sort out the kinks, and then they were just going to add Bitcoin, make it available for every person on the planet who has an iPhone, and do it in a very easy way. Sorry, I know you can hear that beeping in the background, but I might go shut that off actually right now because that's annoying. I'm going to blow my nose too. So give me 30 seconds here. It's going to be a little bit less than the 14 minutes I went yesterday on mute. So in the meantime, you can shoot me an email here. Shoot me anything. Just tell me about yourself. Send me a picture. Don't send me. I cancel that. Okay, I'm going to go shut off this alarm and I'll be back in 20 seconds here. We're back. Okay. What did I for naked pics? Dudes only though. Dudes only. Actually, no, I'm not going to go there. Not going to go there. I don't think anybody wants me to either. Buck 52's here. Good morning, Buck 52. Good to see you. Oh, we got some chatter over in the Nostra stream today. Kevin says, Bitcoin has no top, coffee has no bottom. True. Plural says, I liked orange before Bitcoin made it cool. See, I never did. I never liked orange before Bitcoin. I thought it just reminded me of Halloween, which, funny enough, when did the Bitcoin white paper come out? Pop quiz. Hey, speaking of pop quizzes, Praetorian, you never sent your speed wallet or your lightning wallet. But yes, the answer to that is October 31st, 2008. That's when the Bitcoin white paper came out. Mika says, off topic, but looking for advice. Need to sell some Bitcoin, I think, to purchase property. Have to use an exchange. Have accounts with both BitBuy and Bitcoin Well. Any recommendations on which you would use? Bitcoin Well for sure. Bitcoin Well for sure. Have to use an exchange. Do you have to use an exchange? What if you wanted to sell it to like 20 different people within the Living in the Future community? Man, these freaking comments are huge. Going back to Wilson here. Yeah, I would say definitely use Bitcoin well. My top recommendation in Canada is that's too hard on the back. Is Bitcoin well. I love River for Americans. Love River. And I like Bitcoin well for Canadians. So that's what I would say to that. I'm going to share, actually, we'll give away some Bitcoin right now in honor of Mika. But yeah, I'd use Bitcoin well. And Mika, I know we chatted before, but if you want me to reach out to somebody at Bitcoin well to kind of help you through that process, because I know it's pretty difficult to just log into a website and say, hey, I want to unload $20,000 or $30,000 worth of Bitcoin. So it's nice to talk to somebody there. And that's the nice thing about Bitcoin well is that I'm sure we could hook you up with somebody there. I doubt you could do that at BitBuy. So Mika, you know how to get a hold of me. Reach out and I can put you in touch with somebody at Bitcoin well. It probably depends on how much you're selling, but I think we could probably make it work either way. Hopefully. I shouldn't say that like I'm a big deal here or something, but anyways, we definitely give it our best shot. So let's go over to Bitcoin well. Let's give away a couple. Let's throw a few tosses into the well here. We haven't done this for a few days now. So here's what you got to do. You got to open up your Lightning wallet, whether that's Wallet of Satoshi, Speed, whatever you use for Lightning. Open that baby up and point it at the screen and press send. Not withdraw. I know you want to, you want to hit receive, but you're actually going to hit send. And it's going to bring up the camera. You're going to get to scan a QR code. And the first person to scan this QR code is going to win some sats. And somebody about a month ago won 210,000 sats here on Bitcoin well. So here's the first toss. Let's get this zoomed in so it's easy for people to scan. All right, ready, set, go. I clicked it early there. We'll get the QR code and then we'll see how much they won. Got it ready? Oh, gave it away a little bit there. So there it is. The first person to scan that QR code is going to get the free sats. And there are only so many sats available on the planet. 2.09 quadrillion sats. And somebody just won a portion of those. Cool thing about that is, the cool thing about Bitcoin is that you take those 502 sats and you hold on to them, you protect them, and you keep those for a very long time. Those 502 sats will only go up in value, only go up. In fiat terms, it might go up and down, but your ownership in the world is only going to go up because you now own 502 sats out of 2.09 quadrillion. And that number is fixed at the bottom, which means that your ownership in this network will never go down. It can only go up. And every time there's a hack, every time somebody forgets their keys, every time somebody loses their phone that had a Lightning wallet on it and didn't back it up properly, your ownership increases. Those 502 sats are now actually worth more. Your ownership has gone up. So that's where it's different from the fiat system, where if you had $502 every second, because their denominator keeps going up every second of every day, your $502, your ownership in that network, in the fiat network, goes down every second. That's why people call it a melting ice cube. So these two systems, these two networks are actually inverse. 502 sats in Bitcoin, your ownership of that network will only go up forever. Cannot go down. Fiat, your ownership in that network will only go down. It cannot go up. Very, very simple to understand, but I think it takes a long time for people to get there to that realization. And I've been talking about it a lot. I'm going to keep talking about it because I think that that's a very effective way to talk to people about Bitcoin and explain people why it makes sense to hold something that's scarce like Bitcoin. So those are from Bitcoin well. And if you have, if you're in Canada or in the US, one thing I'd say here is like, if you're in Canada, I would strongly suggest using Bitcoin well as like your main one, your main exchange. Try it out at least. Like try it out. sign up for an account. The address is there. I think it's bitcoinwell.com/Jor. Buy like $200, $300 worth of Bitcoin. See what your experience is like. You're probably going to use them going forward. And then if you're in the US, have Bitcoin Well as kind of like a backup. You could use them too. Some people might like Bitcoin Well more than River, but from my experience, I think people, I think River in the US is, they have a few more features than Bitcoin Well, but definitely in Canada, if you're a Canadian here, check out Bitcoin Well. So bitcoinwell.com/Jor, and you get 5 free tosses into the well. So here's another one. We're going to do another one here. Ready? Let's see what this one's worth. All right, here it is. Here it is, folks. There's the QR. Who's going to get it? We should do 3 tosses today. Why not? Why not? Okay, let's see what they won. See if it's been claimed. It has. What'd they win? $4.91. All right, one more. Here we go. Bitcoinwell.com/Jor for Canadians and Americans. Here we go. Last toss of the day. Some free sats for the people. Chat's pretty quiet. Everybody's trying to get some free sats. So have they been claimed? Yes. What'd they win? $5.57. All right. That's pretty good. $5.07, $4.91, and $5.57. So that is Bitcoin Well. And you get points. Every time you buy, you get points. You get 500 free points for your first transaction. And you can actually refer this. You can refer Bitcoin Well, just like bitcoinwell.com/Jor. And you can refer your friends and family to Bitcoin Well and get some more free sats. So shout out to Bitcoin Well. Canadians watching this live and later, just try them out. That's all that we ask here. Bitcoin Well doesn't pay me. They're not. I'm not on their payroll, but I'm a very happy customer. They're the only exchange that I buy Bitcoin with here in Canada. I have a couple other accounts. I have ShakePay. I have Bull Bitcoin, but I use my DCA for Bitcoin Well, and anytime I want to make a lump sum purchase, I use Bitcoin Well. So there you have it. Terry says, I'm definitely out of the effing city. 60 miles to the nearest Walmart. Nice. What would I be? 60. I'd be about 100 miles from the nearest Walmart. VHF says, I was also susserated last night. Todd says, Bitcoin native in the new iPhone. What? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. Hold on. Let's look at this. Make sure I'm getting the right information here. iPhone. I think it's 17, which is kind of cool too. It's one of my favorite numbers. 1 + 7 = 8. Let's see this. Hold on. There was a good chart that I saw this morning. It was talking about the Bitcoin or the here it is. This is crazy. This is crazy. So this is the cost of an iPhone in Bitcoin, and this is pretty much anything you look at in the world, whether it's real estate, whether it's land, whether it's wages, whether it's masters, purses, everything's going down in Bitcoin. So back when you had an iPhone 4, which is, I had the iPhone 3, aging myself a little bit, but I had the iPhone 3. I was the first person in my city, I think, to have an iPhone. But that would have cost about, I don't know, 165 Bitcoin for one phone. And then the iPhone 5 was 50 Bitcoin. And then the 5S was 5 Bitcoin. And then it looks like we had a couple different up and down years there for the iPhone 6 and 7. But now look at it. The iPhone 17 even though it's like probably 100 times better than the iPhone 4, it costs 700,000 sats. And this will just keep going down. This is what a free market looks like. Bitcoin measures the free market because nobody can print Bitcoin and nobody can manipulate prices in a free market. And so this is what a free market looks like. This is Jeff Booth's theory at work. Everything, the free market is deflationary by nature. As technology improves, the cost of things become less and less. And therefore the cost in real terms, even though they're still going up in dollars, like I'm sure you could have bought the iPhone 4S for like $300, $300. And then the iPhone 17 probably costs $800, but it's gone down significantly in Bitcoin and will continue going down. Do you think that this trend is going to reverse? Do you think that all of a sudden one new iPhone is going to cost 162 Bitcoin again? What's the cost of 162 Bitcoin today? 162. Here, let me bring this up. 162 Bitcoin. So the iPhone 4 times 114,000. $18 million. Holy shit. Do you think an iPhone is going to cost $18 million ever again? No. That trend will continue. This will not slow down. Probably the iPhone 18 will be what? 0.005 Bitcoin, 0.004 Bitcoin. It looks like it just keeps cutting in half in Bitcoin terms. That's wild. But where was the Bitcoin compatible? I thought the Apple Pay wallet now has Bitcoin in it. I'm not maybe looking in the right spot. One day ago, Apple's iPhone 17 launched in a few hours, but some won't buy. Sorry, I only got one hand here and I don't want to really explore this too much, but I'm pretty sure I saw somebody demonstrating moving Bitcoin with an iPhone now with Apple Pay. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Vinny says, don't do it. I don't know what we're not doing. GameStop announced that a dividend. Oh, I missed Matt here. Sorry, Matt. Good morning, Matt. John says, GameStop announced a dividend if warrants to stock and note holders with execution price at $32. Now the stock trades at $25. You can be sure my proceeds go to Bitcoin. Nice. That's pretty cool, actually. That is pretty cool. Mika says, buying into a 100-acre property in the country surrounded by lakes. Mika is living the dream. And you might say, Mika, why would you sell your Bitcoin? But it's like, that's what Bitcoin's for. That's what Bitcoin is for. This kind of stuff. You earn money, you add value to the world, you get value in exchange, and you store that in Bitcoin. And then instead of melting, it goes up. And then you can actually use it to buy things like a 100-acre property in the country surrounded by lakes. That's exactly what Bitcoin is for. Matt zapped 21 sats over in Noster. Noster's been kind of quiet today, but that's all right. Plural says, I love Fold. You can also use opportunity cost tool to see things priced in sats. Opportunity cost.app from TFTC. Yes, I have that on my other laptop. It's kind of cool, except all the prices are in different, like either Canadian or US dollar. So it's all out of whack for me here, but still kind of cool. Send Jory your feed pics. Yes, that's right. Buck52 says the price of an iPhone in Bitcoin has dropped from 13.2 to 0.007 Bitcoin over the years. Yes, although it was 165 the very first one, 165 Bitcoin. Terry says, I'm taking Sailor's advice. Don't be afraid to use the hell out of digital tools. Absolutely. Absolutely. 2009. I don't know what that was for. Damn, that's a stat. Yeah, no doubt. Why would anyone sell when you can lend against Bitcoin now? It's a good question. There's not very many lending options here in Canada. Maybe fee picks belong on the Bitcoin blockchain. Maybe they do. Thank you. I'll reach out to you privately. Yeah, no problem, Mika. My YouTube stream is too slow. Except for I'm stacking my Bitcoin wall points for an orange Cybertruck. What does that cost? How many points do you need for a Cybertruck? There was something crazy. What was it? 1 million? 1 million points? 69 million. Imagine if somebody got that. Holy shit. I think they priced people out. I don't think it'd be possible to get 69 million points. Brett says, I still have my iPhone 3. I wonder if I could find a 3G tower. I probably have mine too. Apple gave the green light to developers to make payment apps or add on to theirs with Apple Pay, much better than Apple doing it themselves. Yeah, Apple's smart. That's a very well-run company, although it's better when our guy Steve Jobs was around, but it's still, they do things right at Apple. Okay, we're going to get to the security playbook here after an hour and a half. But before we do that, what's going on in the UK? What's going on in the UK? Beginning September 1st, 2025, which was last week, the UK government will enforce a €3,000 daily bank withdrawal limit for all individual accounts. This sweeping change will affect millions of customers from pensioners to small business owners. The new policy, part of the government's financial security initiative, aims to combat fraud. Yeah, I'm sure it does. Curb money laundering. Yep. And encourage digital transactions. What a these people are so fucked. They don't even know how fucked they are yet. Pardon my language for any kids listening to the show, but you probably know better than that. Under the new rules, the UK banks, both high street institutions and digital banks, must cap individual daily withdrawals at 3,000 to combat fraud, to curb money laundering, and to encourage digital transactions. Of course. Could they be more obvious about it? Like, that's not combating fraud at all. That's not curbing money laundering at all. This is affecting people like me, people like you, who trust the banks with their money. If I have money, I go down to the bank and deposit it. Somebody pays me, it goes into my bank account. My money that I've earned by doing work for the world. The banks are trying to tell me, the government's trying to tell me how much I can and can't take out. Yeah, go fuck yourself. And encourage digital transactions. Of course they want that because they can track that and they can stop that. So long live cash, long live gold, long live Bitcoin. And as fast as you can, try to move away from the banks because we are the only reason why they still have any sort of power. So you now have the ability, the tools are out there. You just got to put in a little bit of work. You got to take the hard path and get out of the banks. Get out of the banks. Get out of the cities. And whatever Bitcoin you have, make sure you're taking the highest level of care to protect that. I watched an Andrew Tate video popped up on my Instagram feed the other day. And he was talking about how he has tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, and thousands of Bitcoin. And he said that the government basically told him, and this is his words, I don't know if you believe him or not, I do. But he said that the government basically said, if you give us your Bitcoin keys, we'll let you out of jail. And he gave him one of these. So that's the power of Bitcoin. If you set it up properly, what's the government going to do? If you set it up properly, what's the government going to do? And a lot of people don't understand that yet, but they will. Somebody sent in a row of ducks. God bless you, whoever sent that. 2,222 sats. Thank you. And somebody also zapped 50. Said, here's 50 freedom units. Thank you. Those absolutely are freedom units. That was Kachok. Kachok. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Paulie says, some hodlers snipe at those spending strategically on a Bitcoin standard. Some of us went all in and need to use Lightning for some expenses. Yes, exactly. I spend Bitcoin every week because I don't keep any cash. I don't keep any, well, I shouldn't say that. I have a bit of cash, but I don't keep any money in my bank account because why would I? I don't want to deal with that shit. Most Brits are like, hey, who has 3K anyways? That's true. You're not wrong, which is another sad reality here. It's getting global. This is why we Bitcoin. What a load of shit. Pleb debt slaves. I have no sympathy. F them. Oh, ISO is Kachuk. I did not know that. Interesting. Thank you, ISO. Preach, my friend. Preach. Todd says, that's jacked. UK bank limit. No doubt. COVID made me such an a-hole. No doubt. Using words like encouraging, but you can't decline. Yeah, exactly. Encouraging. Oh, yeah, we're going to stop fraud. We're going to stop money laundering. Like, they couldn't be more obvious about it. Really, they couldn't be more blatant. We want you to use digital transactions. Why? So we can track it and shut you down if we want to? Get fucked. Gonna miss central banks. I love fiat. Me too. Me too. Okay, let's get to this. I was very, very keen on this post today that I found on Noster. Probably my favorite post I've seen in a while. So we're going to go through this. Look at this. This is what caught my attention, actually. Here's a little trick that I've been doing. If you're somebody who has Noster or a business and you make posts online, one thing I've been doing lately is as I'm kind of scrolling, maybe it's on Instagram, Noster, X, Twitter. Anytime I see something where I like stop scrolling, like it catches my attention, I screenshot it. And I have a folder now that's called Things I Stopped For. And the reason why I do that is because I think it's useful. If you're making posts, if you're sharing content, you want people to stop scrolling. And so I'm trying to get like a trend of what made me stop, because there's probably a lot more people out there like me. So this was a post that made me stop. Let me bring it up here. This is from Operation Bitcoin. Look at that picture. Look at that picture. That's like the yin to Arnie's yang right there. Black German Shepherd. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance. So here we go. The adversarial mindset, a security playbook for Bitcoiners. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through this post, and I might stop somewhere along the way and talk about a couple things, and then we'll catch up after. But I thought this was probably the most well done post that I've ever seen on Noster. And if you have any amount of sats right now, pay attention to this. So we're going to walk through this here. It says, imagine this. You've spent years stacking sats, watching your cold storage balance grow. One night, there's a knock at the door you weren't expecting. Or maybe it's more subtle, a strange text from your exchange, in quotes. A Wi-Fi network that looks similar but isn't, or a friend who asks just a little too much about your Bitcoin setup. These are not paranoid fantasies. These are the realities of holding an asset that is both borderless and irreversible. To thrive as a Bitcoiner, you need more than a hardware wallet. You need a way of thinking. That's what I've been talking about on this channel for a very long time. You go back to day one of the 365 days of Bitcoin. It is a mindset. And there are tools that you can use within your mind to play through different scenarios and improve your Bitcoin security by visualization. So it is a way of thinking, a mindset that assumes adversaries exist, studies how they operate, and prepares accordingly. Security in this world isn't a checklist, it's a discipline. So how do you think like an adversary? Attackers don't play fair. They look for the weakest link, whether it's an outdated app on your phone, a loose comment at a dinner party, or a cheap lock on your front door. So this is what I tell people all the time when I'm having like one-on-ones with people. I usually tell them to like think about, like actually play this out in your head. If somebody's showing up at your door knowing that you have Bitcoin and saying, hand it over. And this isn't going to be just like your normal attacker who's looking for like a new flat screen TV. This is going to be a sophisticated attacker. And so when you say things like passphrase or like a decoy wallet, those sound great in theory, except probably who you're going to be up against is somebody who's much more sophisticated than that, which means an example of this. Number one is when somebody breaks in your house, where's the first place that they're going to go usually? Or where's the first place that they're going to ask you to take them to? Probably the safe. And so if you have your hardware device and your 12 words in the safe, your Bitcoin's gone. Right off the hop, gone. Never to be seen or heard from again. And you might say, Jor, well, I have a decoy wallet and I have a passphrase. Okay, but your decoy wallet probably might have 200,000 sats in it, and it hasn't had any ingoing or outgoing transactions in the last 2 years. Do you think that a sophisticated attacker is going to say, okay, 200,000 sats, I guess that's all Jor has, I'm going to leave now? No. They're going to say, where's the rest of it? So adopting an adversarial mindset means asking yourself, if I wanted to steal from me, how would I do it? What patterns do I reveal online or offline that somebody could exploit? Where do I lack layers of defense? By thinking strategically and tactically, you stop being reactive and start becoming more proactive. So securing your digital battlefield or building your Bitcoin citadel. Your wallet is your castle. Don't build it on sand. Hardware wallets keep keys offline, far from malware. Multi-signature setups force an attacker to compromise not one, but several wallets or strongholds. Backups here. This is, I like to see this because this is what we talk about all the time with Superbacked in our 21 sats solution. Backups encrypted and spread across secure locations protect you from fire, theft, or error. Backups encrypted and spread across geographically dispersed secure locations protect you from fire, theft, or error. Online hygiene, unique passwords, 2FAs, VPNs, and the refusal to click strange links keep phishing hooks from sinking in. Tactically, this means staying disciplined in daily habits. Strategically, it means reducing single points of failure so your castle can withstand a siege. Every click, every login, every update is a chance to think, how would an attacker exploit this? So guarding the home front. Bitcoin doesn't just live online, it intersects with your life. That's where many adversaries will probe. Store seed phrases in fireproof safes or across multiple secure locations. I would say secure multiple secure locations instead of a fireproof safe. Although this is good, it's not great. And when you're talking about the world's greatest asset, you want it to be great, not just good. Reinforce your doors, your locks, your alarms. The stronger your home, the less tempting you become as a target. Keep your mouth shut, especially while traveling. The fewer who know, the fewer who can exploit. Prepare escape and emergency protocols. A family that knows what to do under stress is far harder to exploit. So I think that's the main thing that a lot of people miss is like when you're thinking through the stuff, this isn't going to be like a la-di-da average Wednesday. You go to your safe, you go to your hiding place for your private key, and you can do it. And you know where it is, and it's easy. There's no stress. But in a situation like this, you're going to be under an immense amount of stress. So not only do you have to have this stuff properly protected and hidden, but you're also going to have to know exactly where it is like the back of your hand. Because in a stressful situation, maybe you have to leave your house for a fire, whatever that may be, you have to think through all these different things in your head and you have to set up safeguards based on each one of them. So something very simple for this is like, talk to your family. If the power goes out or something happens, where are you going to meet? If you don't have the ability to communicate with your cell phone, where are you all going to meet? Are you going to be driving in circles looking for each other? Because then what? You're going to run out of gas, and then you're going to be stranded on the side of the road, and you're going to have your head bitten off by a zombie, or you're going to be attacked by this thing. So think like an adversary. They don't want a long fight. They want easy prey. Don't be that. Don't be the lowest hanging fruit. So that's one part of it. But you also have to train your mind and body. A secure plan isn't what you own, it's how you move through the world. Situational awareness, heads up, phone down, notice who notices you. Martial arts, Krav Maga for, I don't know if that's pronounced properly, for real world defense, jujitsu for control, boxing for striking. Think of them as physical patches for human vulnerabilities. De-escalation first. The best fight is the one avoided, but if conflict comes, you've trained to respond. And stress testing, practice under pressure so adrenaline doesn't control you when it matters most. Tactics are useless without mental preparation or visualization. The adversarial mindset means knowing when to fight, when to flee, and when to blend in. So the tools of defense, weapons, and alternatives. Tools don't replace mindset, but they extend it. Know the law. Never train with tools you cannot legally use. Firearms demand safety, discipline, and constant practice. Non-lethal options like pepper spray, tasers, or even tactical flashlights can be decisive without deadly outcomes. Everyday carry tools remind you that preparedness doesn't have to be loud, it just has to work. So that's a great option, honestly. You can get one of these on Amazon. So if you live in a country where you have pretty strict GUN laws, at least have something like this at a bare minimum. And you can buy them on Amazon. Every tool is a force multiplier. Without training, though, it's dead weight. The discipline of continuous readiness. An adversarial mindset isn't about paranoia. It's about preparation. Conduct regular audits of your digital and physical defenses. Train with trusted partners because threats rarely happen on your schedule. And stay current with emergent attack patterns in both tech and crime. Above all, resist complacency. The greatest vulnerability of all is believing you're too safe to be a target. Bingo. So having something like this, I would say training with trusted partners, you're probably not going to like have people in your community that you can practice this stuff with. So what I would say to replace this is like join a community, join Living in the Future, join Maple Bitcoin School, become a visionary when it's available, because you're going to be the first to know when there's an active threat going on, whether it's like a phishing scam, whether it's an attack on a specific wallet, whatever it may be. You're going to be the first to know, and you're not going to have to scroll through pages of X and Reddit to find that information. You're going to have somebody there, a trusted partner within the community who can keep you up to date with this kind of stuff. So it's important. I mean, it's obviously nice to have other people you can talk to, because being a Bitcoiner in 2025 is a pretty lonely place. But it also gives you communities like this. You get a bunch of content that helps you walk through this and think through this kind of stuff, but also just like having a sense of community, having people who have your back, essentially, is priceless. Above all, resist complacency. We went through that already. Quiet strength. Here's the paradox. The more capable you are, the less you need to show it. True security isn't about bragging on Twitter about your cold storage or martial arts training. It's about the quiet confidence that you've thought strategically, trained tactically, and prepared realistically. Bitcoin gives you freedom, and security ensures you keep it. Closing reflection. Bitcoin gives us freedom, but freedom without security is fragile. Remember that one. Bitcoin gives us freedom, but freedom without security is fragile. To protect yourself, your property, and your digital wealth, you must think like an adversary, always probing for the weak points, always refining your defenses. Strategic thinking sets the vision. Tactical thinking makes it real. Together, they transform security from a list of tasks into a way of life. Because in the end, sovereignty isn't just holding your own keys. It's being ready for whatever comes when someone tries to take them. That only got 71 sats. We need to boost that. We need to boost that. But in the meantime, I mean, this is kind of what made me come to the realization that something like super backed or having your private key encrypted and geographically dispersed and not having any Bitcoin at your house, like going through this kind of thinking, that's what led me there. Because yes, I had a cold card. Yes, I had a multi-sig, but I was still worried about what could go wrong with that. I was thinking about all the different attack vectors and vulnerabilities that I had in my setup. And I didn't really have a solution to it until I discovered the encryption. Because when you think about it, all this information floating around through your phone, through email, through chats, as AI and technology improves, it's going to become easier and easier to intercept that. And so you want any sort of information that's important to you to be encrypted. Start thinking in that mindset. Any information that's important to you, you want it to be encrypted. And you don't have to learn this today. You don't have to take a bunch of steps this week, but just have that sort of mindset that any information that I have that's important to me, I want it to be encrypted, and start taking slow steps towards that. But that's exactly what led me to Superbacked and Craig and 21 Sats, is that was an answer to the biggest problem that I had, was storing things in plain text. And so that also led me to geographically dispersing the keys. That led me to not keeping any Bitcoin at my house. And that made me want to, instead of signing up for a service like Unchained or Casa or somebody who has all your information, which is another vulnerability, because they have the information, they have a key, they know how much Bitcoin you have. And that's a vulnerability. As good and easy as it is, it's expensive, it's KYC, and it's potential for your Bitcoin to be taken from you if you have an unfriendly government. So that's the kind of stuff that you need to be thinking about. And I had a little checklist here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it easily or not, but I had a little list of things you should be thinking about in this realm. Where is this? Oh yeah, we got Spark. No, it's not there. I don't know where it is. I have too many freaking spreadsheets now. I thought this was the play to put them all in one, but well, this is kind of a good next thing to show. And let me bring this up. You might be thinking like, well, Joe, I only got 1 million sats. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? First of all, it's not only 1 million sats. But yeah, you're right. You don't need to be thinking too far ahead if you got 1 million sats right now. So this is kind of my threshold that I have. Like if you got 5 million sats or less, instead of buying a hardware device, instead of spending a bunch of money on having somebody help you or setting up, a multi-sig or encryption, just keep stacking. Take whatever money you have, bump this up. Use an Aqua wallet. Make sure you protect your private keys properly from your Aqua wallet, or just keep it on an exchange like River. And if you got 5 to 10 million sats, I would suggest getting a hardware device. I recommend the Cold Card Q. It has the cold card level security, but it's a lot easier to use than the MK4. So I'm going to share this. This is for the US folks in the chat here. I'm going to share my link to River, because if you are somebody who has like 5 million sats or less, like it's not the worst idea to actually just leave it on an exchange. I know that's kind of backwards from what we're used to hearing, but I do think that River is going to protect your Bitcoin better than you can at that stage. Or, if you're capable of it, if you want to have an Aqua wallet, something like that, totally fine. Or Cove. There's a lot of really good wallets that are available on the on your phone. But my point there is that you shouldn't be wasting a bunch of money on security at that stage. You should just buy sats. The next one here is, so I put cold card Q ×2 there, because if you're ordering one cold card, I would just get 2, because you set up the first one as normal, and then you use the second cold card to actually verify the fact that yes, I wrote down the words properly. Yes, I can read them. And yes, it restored properly. In case anything happens to your original cold card, you know for a fact that you can actually restore that wallet properly into a new device. So I would get 2. It's going to cost you a little bit more money. But the nice thing too is that you can use both those wallets when you move up to a multi-sig. You already have 2 devices there. If you got 10 to 50 million sats, I would suggest something like a cold card Q with a passphrase plus a node plus encryption. It's a lot. I know everybody gets pretty caught up in like the fiat price, the fiat value that they tell you that your Bitcoin's worth, it's worth much, 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 much more than you think. So protect it accordingly. Single sig, cold card Q with a passphrase, plus run your own node, plus encrypt your 24 words. 50 million sats. You should today start looking at a multi-sig, 2 of 3, 3 of 5, and encrypt your backups. That's kind of my threshold for things. So something to think about. Something to think about. Chat's gone quiet. Hopefully everybody's just paying attention there. Hopefully my microphone was on for that. Looks like it was. Cypher says, as far as the government is concerned, I'm a broke-ass bomb treading water. My bank accounts hold minimal amounts of cash. Yes. Cypher Sats is doing it right. All right. We had a couple more zaps come in from Noster. Or is that? Kachok or ISO also sent 18 sats and said BitChat could help. Yes. Good point. Walkie-talkies, mesh networks, BitChat. Because BitChat doesn't use a Wi-Fi or mobile network. You can use it off of Bluetooth, I believe. Tandri says, zap 21 sats and said sat by sat. Shout out to Noster. We got 25 people over there. Love that. And we got 40 people in Rumble. Damn. 23 likes. Or I should say Rumble. I'm an adversarial professional, an all-star, if you will. ISO says, I can't think of how geographically dispersed keys are safe because it would require you to have trusted individuals, which puts them in harm's way should someone really want your sats. I mean, that's a good point. That's a great point. And what I would say to that is if you use something like Superbacked, 21 sats, shout out 21 sats. If you use something like that, it's just QR codes. So it's laminated QR codes. Your QR codes match with the password that you create. That's what unlocks your secret information, your encrypted information. And so when you have a laminated QR code, you should probably trust the person that you're leaving it with, probably. But at the same time, you don't really have to because they can't do anything with that information. Although, you know, it depends. Like you could literally go to your parents' house and you could stick a QR code in the back of a photo frame. And hopefully your parents aren't going to rug you or come after you, but you never know. So you could tell them or you might not. You could leave it in a safety security box, but it's just a QR code. It's encrypted QR code. So even if a bank employee went rogue and they found your QR code, they can't do anything with that. And the nice thing is that if you have these geographically dispersed with people that you trust and you have to leave the country, the nice thing is that you could actually hop on a plane without anything and you could land and say, hey, I'm in this country, please email or please mail my QR code to this address. And you collect your QR codes, you get 2 or 3 of them, you scan it, you put in your password, and then all of a sudden you have your 24 words unlocked. It's the best solution. I have not found a better solution for any serious Bitcoiners out there. If you want to protect your Bitcoin, super backed 21 sats security and inheritance plan. So it's the security component of it, but plus you have a nice, well-detailed, well-organized document that you can leave with somebody in case something unexpected happens to you. So if you do want more information, we've had a ton of people signing up for this service. And it's very, very, very inexpensive at this point. It's probably going to go up in fiat terms anyways. But if you want more information, you want to set up a call with me and just, see if it makes sense for you, you can email 88sats@proton.me and just put 21 sats in the subject line or super backed. And I'll set up a call with you, and then we can set up a call with Craig if you want to kind of take the next step there and take your shit seriously. Because in a situation like that, somebody breaks in your house, if you're using the 21 sats protocol, they can't do anything. They'd have to fly you around or drive you around to collect your QR codes. Good luck. Nobody's going to do that. That was the point of that thing, is you want to think like them. and they just want the easy hanging fruit. They want to be able to break in your house, break in your safe, get your 24 words and leave. So having something like that is going to make it not only difficult for you to access, but somebody else very difficult to access. And that's kind of the point of it, right? Like an ideal setup is going to be 90% of your Bitcoin geographically dispersed, encrypted. Nobody else holds a key to it. But then you keep about 10% at your house. You could keep that on an Aqua wallet. You could have like a secondary cold card that you keep it on. So if you did need to access a portion of your Bitcoin, you have it on hand. And again, somebody breaks in your house, they take your cold card, you lose 10% of your stack. It sucks, but you still have 90% of it that nobody can touch. So that's the key selling point to the super back, the 21 sats, is no Bitcoin at your house. You don't have to have a trace of Bitcoin. You could have 100% locked up. If you have no plans on spending your Bitcoin, you could have 100% of it locked up. I don't suggest that usually, but you could. You could have zero trace of Bitcoin at your house. It's non-KYC. We don't need to know your last name. We don't need to know your phone number. We don't need to know your mailing address. We don't need to know any of that stuff. Nobody needs to know that. We don't know KYC. We don't hold a key to it. It's much more affordable than any other option available out there. And you have two guys on your team, Craig and myself, and we're probably going to be growing here soon, that can support you. And I think having something like that, and we're also going to have a school page, school community for Bitcoin Citadel, just specifically focused on Bitcoin security stuff. And so you can stay up to date with that too. So everybody who has signed up as a 21 Sats customer is going to get free access to our school community to stay very up to date and have a lot of good information about security. So it's a good way to put it. It's powerful. That's a really good way to put it. Thank you. I was looking for a word there. It's powerful. Samantha says, no, Mike is good. You are not talking to yourself again. Thank God. Jack says, George, check out Shake Pace Shake Squad. More free sats. Nice. Somebody zapped here. Living in the future. Who's that? 88 sats. Laugh pad. Laugh pad, my man. Zapped 88 sats over on Nostr and said, living in the future. Amen. Soon to be visionaries. And Sats and Sunsets zap 21. That's a hard one to say. I don't know what you mean there, Jack. ISO says, going to make a Proton mail real quick. Good idea. Simple, just write your seed phrase on the fridge. Yes, exactly. You won't forget it, and you always need food. That's a good point, Aster. Good point. Why didn't I think of that? So here's the funny part about that, though. Is again, I think people think like the criminals or the people breaking in your house are going to just be dummies. And they might be. Like, you might actually have somebody break in your house. You could have your seed phrase on the fridge and they would walk right by it. It's still in 2025. There'd be a lot of people that just walk right past that. They go get your television. They might steal your laptop. They might steal some cash in your top drawer, but they're just going to walk past that seed phrase. But that's not who we're worried about here. We're worried about sophisticated bad actors. That's who you want to protect yourself against. So anyways, I said that we weren't going to do 2.5 hours today, and we're not that far away from that. I suck at this. I suck at this job. Just kidding. Okay, what do I want to do here? I want to bring up the DCA. We had 4 DCAs today. Let me throw that up in the chat in case anybody wants to say, hey, George, thanks for introducing these thoughts into my brain so I can protect my Bitcoin and my family can have this Bitcoin in 100 years from now. So you can use this this link here if you want to. You don't need Nostr. You just need a Lightning wallet, and you can zap a coffee just like a bunch of these fine fellows did. Oh, that's not the right one. But we do need to add one for Josh. And we're going to add, what should we add here for Cedar Sats? Sent in a row of boobs last night. So we're going to do 5. We're going to add 5 to that, 29. Cedar Sats is killing it. I think that's it for today. Josh, we added, yep. What's the other one I want to do here? All right, let's take this down. What should we have for a challenge this week? Somebody in the chat put it in there. What should we do for a challenge this week to get more points? Where am I looking here? Here we go. All right, September 10th. Oh, it's my buddy's birthday today. I got to text him. I can't forget about that. September 10th. Good day. So it's, you know what's funny? I have 3 really good friends who are born within 3 days of each other. Probably my best friend growing up is born today. One of my best friends in adult life is born tomorrow. And another one of my good buddies is born the day after. September 10th, 11th, and 12th. I don't know if that means anything, but kind of cool. All right, here we go. So the lowest one today was 2632, 2634, 2633, and 2629. That is Scotty. 2629 is the winner today. Not by much. Scotty boy. We had Duncan, the most consistent DCAer in the group. We had Todd. And we had Cypher. It's kind of hard to type here with one. I feel like an 80-year-old man. Cypher, thank you, fellas. Very, very much appreciate that. All right. Shake Squad, a feature where you can sign up. Yeah, Shake Squad's been around for a while. I've been using that for probably over a year now, Shake Squad. It is pretty good for stacking sats. Eatable Zebra says, love the long streams, though. Yeah, I know, they're fun. They are fun, especially when the microphone works. All right, so if anybody zapped any sats to Arnie Boy's wallet, it died again today. I'm going to have to look into this phone. So I apologize. If I didn't say thank you, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because the phone died. So I will make up for it tomorrow. And I don't know who sent in the row of ducks there. Nobody claimed those. Anyways, what are we done? What do we got here? 11 o'clock. I got through the Bitcoin well. We talked about the security. Bitcoin is a choice. What's this one? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll end with this one. We'll end with this one. Oh, it's Bad Gal B. Thank you, Bad Gal B. She's got a bunch of different zaps she uses. I never know which one's her. Thank you. All right. We'll end with this today. This is from Nostra as well. Economista Austriaco. Economista Austriaco. I did not choose the dollar. I did not choose the peso. I did not choose the euro. I did not choose the pound. I did not choose the yen. I did not choose the chains of the central banks. Because I did not choose to live on my knees. I did not choose to let others print the fruit of my labor and steal my time. I did not choose the lie disguised as money. I chose incorruptible scarcity, which is this number right here, the most important number that exists in the universe right now, 2.099 quadrillion sats. Any amount of sats that you have is your ownership in that network. That ownership will never go down. It will only go up. It will only become more and more valuable. Your ownership percentage will only go up as keys are burned, as sats are lost, as phones are lost. Your ownership will only go up from there. Where was that note here? No, there it is. I chose mathematical truth. Hard to come by these days. I chose the sovereignty of my time and energy. I chose freedom, and I chose Bitcoin. So what I got to do, I'm going to have to zap the that playbook here. That was very, very useful. I'm going to save that somewhere. That's from Operation Bitcoin. So I'm going to go over to Nostr and send them a nice zap for that, for featuring on the show today. And yes, row of ducks was Daisy. Okay, we added a couple then. Paulie, you probably sent it to Arnie's wallet. Hey, it's dead. So thank you, Paulie. I can't see it, but I do trust you. Okay, that's what we got today. So thank you for being here once again. We had the microphone working. We had Arnie Boy show up today. He's still here. He stuck around the whole show. And we had some nice zaps, some nice support from the show. So for those watching later, I know you don't like to contribute or participate that much, but if you want to, you can scan or send to 88sats@speed.app. It's what keeps the show going. We have 0 sponsors. We never will have any sponsors. And it is community run, community funded. And the new visionary community is going to be right in line with that. So thank you for watching here today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the show. And Zapstream just ended. Must have ran out of sats over there. So thanks everybody once again. We will be back here tomorrow, and we'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.